And obviously, the purpose of the recording is to allow us to share this meeting out with people who can't attend synchronously. But thank you all for being here. Uh, let's begin with prayer. The Lord be with you.
Also,
And also with you.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, you have gathered us as your people to be called the body of Christ in this place and time. We give you thanks for the gifts you have poured out over this, your parish, for growth in spirit and number, for faithful leadership and the joy of shared ministry. As we reflect on our life together, grant us wisdom to discern your will, courage to pursue it, and the grace to do it with gladness and singleness of heart. Bless our conversations that they may be rooted in love, guided by truth, and fruitful for the building up of your church. All this we ask in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen.
Amen. Thank
All right.
you. Beautiful.
So I'm going to share my screen. This will probably be the start of all technical problems. But
Of course.
what we have is, if you attended the mid-year update last year, this was a kind of an experiment born out of the feedback that we received at our annual meeting in 2024. That parishioners shared a hope that we might kind of get a more regular update from the vestry or from the parish leadership about where we stand with regard to our goals, with finances, just kind of some general updates. So this started last year, so this is the second year of this tradition, and by all Episcopal accounts, if you do it twice, it is now permanent tradition. So thank you for joining us tonight. The agenda isn't too ambitious, and for clarity's sake, we're going to be kind of at a moderate cruising altitude, so we won't be getting a financial update down to the penny, but a brief overview is kind of what we're hoping for tonight. So we're going to begin with an update on parish and spiritual life. We will get an update on the budget and our finances. Ryan will be talking to us about youth and family ministries here at St. Stephen's. We're going to hear some more about some exciting events related to our 75th anniversary coming up this fall. We're going to talk about campus repairs and maintenance, and that will kind of lead us into a discussion around stewardship and kind of planning for the future. And what we'll try to do is at each section break, we'll try to kind of turn off the screen share and open up the meeting for a few questions if you have them. If not, we of course will always have time at the end of the meeting for questions as well. So with that, I will stop the share and turn things over to Brad, our senior warden.
Thank you, Matt. I want to say at the outset that it has been both an honor and a privilege to serve on the vestry this year and to be serving as your senior warden. It's a blessing, but it comes with service on the vestry comes with duty and responsibility. And as I think everyone knows, the vestry is not responsible for sacred or religious matters. That's the exclusive purview of the rector. But the vestry is responsible for business and financial matters. It's like a board of directors of another charity, and like trustees, we owe a fiduciary duty to the members of St. Stephen's. So tonight's report is an effort at a kind of mid-year state of the parish. It's an attempt to be open and transparent about our finances and about other activities. So without going into detail, because other people will be going into greater detail, I just wanted to say that I'm very pleased to report that by all important measures, St. Stephen's is doing very well. As you'll hear from Matt and from the junior warden and from other members of the vestry, all indicators are positive. Attendance is up, revenue is up, our investments and endowments are at an all-time high, have had more baptisms, maybe more baptisms than funerals. We have more confirmands, new members, pledge and plate is up. So we are growing at a time when many congregations in the Diocese of California are not growing. And for that, we have to be grateful. But there is a reason that that's happening, and it's related to the hard work of the clergy and also of the vestry. And in addition to all the lay ministries that make St. Stephen's run and that make it the wonderful place it is. So congratulations to everyone involved. But there is more that we need to do, as will be discussed later. Our campus is 3/4 of a century old, even though we've had a renovation and some change. But the campus, the grounds, buildings, and equipment need updating or replacement. Our growing parish needs greater services from our clergy. That comes with growth. That's good, but it puts a greater demand on them. And all this requires resources. It's our duty as members of the vestry to be good stewards of your money, of your gifts, to be careful and prudent and transparent. So this report is part of our effort to do that. And I'm pleased to say that I genuinely feel that we are in a good place, but the best, I think, is yet to come. So back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll echo a few of Brad's points just briefly. These are just a few scenes of the kind of what I think we feel, at least anecdotally, of an increased vitality here at St. Stephen's. We had some wonderful baptisms on Pentecost. We had 9 confirmands at Grace Cathedral with Bishop Austin, and plenty of fellowship at the parish retreat this year, where we kind of grew by about 50%. St. Stephen's, I think, continues to experience steady year-over-year growth, both in worship and event attendance. When it comes to our Sunday attendance in particular, we're seeing about a 16% growth compared to last year, which had, I think, roughly maybe 25% growth. So again, kind of sustained growth with our worship. Our ASA has grown by over 1/3 since I began as rector. So it was kind of in the high 80s, low 90s average Sunday attendance, and we're now at 105 for the year. So also, when it comes to vitality, I think one of the most obvious additions is a growth in staff. We're really grateful and excited about Reverend Ryan's addition to our clergy staff. As I said, attendance at the parish retreat was up 45% over the prior year. Our tri-tip dinner at the 4th of July nearly doubled in size, and we had, I think, about 4 or 5 preschool families. So basically a quadrupling of involvement from our preschool partners. And we've had 5 baptisms this year. Last year we had 8. I think every indication is that we'll be able to exceed that in 2025. So again, in both kind of anecdotal and in real ways, we're seeing a lot of positive growth and vitality here at St. Stephen's. So I can't imagine there's many questions about vitality, but any questions or comments? All right, that was pretty easy. All right, so I'm going to invite Roy to give us our budget update. So Roy, let me invite you to unmute. If you hold down the space bar, that might do it.
Got it.
Gotcha. There we go.
Good evening, everybody. I wanted to briefly highlight some of the financial positions that we're in as of June 30th. And compared to 2024, we're in a much stronger financial position, both in income and cash and balance sheet and endowments. On the income side, the bulk of our income comes from pledge income. And so through June, we are at 70% of our annual budget for total pledge income and 50% of the income that is not prepaid. So we get a lot, we had 235,000 of prepaid pledges beginning the year. And we also keep track of the monthly pledges, and they are at 55%. So we're also in good shape there. So total income already for the year is 710,000 roughly. One of the interesting things is we try to track pledge income on a monthly basis between years. And in comparing this year to 2024, you can see in the light green, that's 2024 pledges, and in the dark green is this year. We had a big spike in February of 2024, but generally the trend is about the same, but the trend is down for the months of May and June this year. And we're not sure exactly why, but July looks like it's going to be going back up. So given the ability to make our annual budget of 900,000, it looks like we're going to be on track to do that. We have 3 investment funds: Children's Ministry, Music Endowment, and funds functioning as endowment. You can see there, we're comparing quarters over the last 3 years. We've had very healthy growth in all of our endowments, which are in Dodge and Cox Balance Fund. And this year, even with the market volatility, we've earned 8% return on those endowments through June, which is doing very well compared to all the volatility that's going on in the market. We've also been much more aggressive in managing our cash flow. You'll remember that we generated 235,000 in prepaid pledges, and we need to make sure that we're using that money in a fiduciary capacity. So that money has been put into treasury bills that have been rolled over every 90 days. And so far this year, we've generated over $5,700 in interest income, which is more than 50% higher than we should be at this time of year.
And for that, I want to thank Roy for his expertise in keeping abreast of almost on a weekly basis what the treasury markets are doing. So he deserves a lot of credit.
On the expense side, we're a little bit above 50% as of June, but these overages are largely related to personnel costs approved by the vestry, namely Ryan, and salary increase for Matt that occurred in January. So we keep a very close eye on expenses, and we expect the year expenses to be right on budget or better. Any questions about finances?
Roy, I don't see a lot of frowning faces either, so
Hopefully not.
great report. Thank you. All right. So now, and again, if you ever have questions, you can put them in the chat or use the emotions to kind of raise your hand. So now we'll invite Ryan to give us a quick update on youth and family ministries here at St. Stephen's.
Yeah, so kind of in conjunction with what everyone else has said, we've seen a lot of, recent uptick in people with young families, especially from our preschool. We've done 3 movie nights and uh, 3 movie nights that were kind of oriented towards our preschoolers and their families. And this last week we had one for all the new families coming in, which was a lot of fun. Not so many people stayed for the movie, but we met a lot of the new families coming in the playground. And that's kind of been where some of our growth in, some of the baptisms, like the baptisms we did on Pentecost were preschool families, was a preschool family. So kind of in aiming ministry towards the families at the preschool and such, we're looking to increase the number of Sunday school classes that we're doing. So it'll be the 1st and 3rd of every month. We'll have Sunday school for our 10 a.m. service using the world programming. So the kids would be learning from the same lectionary that we're and I'm hoping to also make kind of like questions for parents and a little crash course guide for parents to understand what the story is about and what questions they can ask their kids to kind of further that for the young kids. My internet's stable, so I may freeze. Is unstable. I know Matt and I are also trying to increase our presence at the preschool. I will be reading towards little kids, and Matt will be continuing his reading for the preschoolers as well. I guess one thing I really need for this Sunday school to work is some more people to help me out as teachers. So if it's something that you want to be a part of kind of forming St. Stepheners for the future, I would really appreciate your help in kind of learning to be a Sunday school teacher. And once I have kind of a small group set aside, I will be doing a little course on how the world program works. It's pretty straightforward. I know when I did it on Easter, it was a game day decision, but it worked well. And for our older teens and youth, we're going to continue our youth group the 2nd and 4th Sundays of the month from 4 to 6. And we're going to kind of cycle every 4 weeks between something fun, something towards personal development, spiritual development, and then service. And the service component, we're kind of starting a new initiative. So the service component, this was kind of in conjunction from one of our youth parents who mentioned that teenagers who aren't going to church regularly kind of find going to youth group a bit of a hard thing for them to do and to overcome, but their parents will make them do service work. So we're starting the St. Stephen's Program for Action, Responsibility, and Kindness, or SPARK. So this would be kind of a teen youth service organization, and anything that youth group does towards service will be under the SPARK name. And so I know currently some of the things that we have planned for Spark would be helping out with trunk or treat, in which they can get volunteer hours and stuff like that. And I worked with Dan and Andy about having the kids in November doing a meal for our winter nights. So that will be under the Spark moniker. And I plan to also do some programming about discussing beforehand what Christian service is all about. And then I guess 2 things, and I'll also put this in the chat, but I have started a youth and children's ministry WhatsApp community. So anything related to youth will be under that WhatsApp community, from Spark, youth group, Sunday school, So if you just scan it, I will admit you into the community, and then you can sort yourselves in between all the different subgroups within there for Sunday school or youth group, etc. And then on the other QR code is a Google Calendar for youth and children's ministry, and that will have everything, all events and activities planned throughout the semesters for youth and children and family ministry. So I'll add these to the chat as well. But if you have your phone out, you can scan both of these and subscribe to the Google Calendar and join the WhatsApp community.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. I'm gonna just leave that up for another moment in case people need to scan that. So, and of course, the link's also available in the chat. So, now I want to invite Cindy Barber, who's one of the folks working on our 75th anniversary committee, to share a little bit of what we can expect in the next few months of celebrations.
Thank you, Matt, and hello, everybody. Katie Donlin, Elizabeth Caldwell, Sarah Nelson, Betsy Barron, and I have been working for the last numerous months on planning the St. Stephen's 75th anniversary dinner gala. It will be scheduled, it's planned on Saturday, October 10th, 6 p.m., probably until 9 or thereabouts. We will, of course, be sharing announcements about this event. Invitations will be sent to everybody by email. It will come from paperless post, so keep your eyes open. I think the invitations will probably go out in late August or early September. The program will include Bishop Austin Rios, and his wife is coming as well, but he will be speaking. We are planning to raffle a beautiful watercolor that we commissioned by Tia Cratter, who is a local artist, and it has been beautifully framed, matted and framed by Anthony's Custom Picture Framers in Lafayette. And it was that matting and framing was a gift from them. This will be raffled off. We'll start selling raffle tickets most likely on St. Stephen's Day. We are looking into arranging valet parking and transportation for those who are unable to drive or unable to drive at night, and there'll be more information about that later. So that's the event that we're planning. It's going to be a really fun celebration. In addition to the raffle, we will have other fun opportunities that people can participate in. If you're inclined, we welcome others to help us with the planning, and we also would welcome your help on the night of. So if you'd like to help in any way, we would love to have you. You can talk to Katie, to Elizabeth, to Sarah, to Betsy, or to me. So thank you.
You can also let the church office know, and we'll obviously connect you with.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
Can I ask one thing?
yeah, Jerry.
Cindy, you mentioned October 10th. It's October 11th?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sorry. It is.
Problem, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Yeah.
That's
the
actually how we get volunteers, is we occasionally slip on the date, you show up early, and then
If you hadn't
Bring
mentioned that,
tables.
I'd have been there on the 10th, so thank you.
Thank you.
there's only a few rooms available in the rectory to spend the night as you wish.
Thanks, Jerry.
I thought it was a 24-hour celebration.
We're actually going 75. It's all weekend. So perfect. Mike, did you want to go through some of the repairs, or did you want me to lead a tour?
Why don't you lead a tour? And I might suggest that just back up a year. Yeah, starting with the rectory repairs and maybe some of the things that we had to do with the campus in front of the sanctuary last year. People
Okay.
probably like to forget.
Yeah, so these were some of the repairs that happened in 2025. In 2024, we also had a large number of repairs to the rectory. Those kind of were ongoing. We were able to get some new lighting, new carpeting, and some closet fixtures. So the rector now has a place to hang his shirts, which is wonderful. There's also some repairs to the kitchen cabinets and to some drywall around the house. There was the installation of new plants in the Seifert Garden and along the western front doors. These are hopefully that animation kind of shows you the transformation. We're really grateful to our patron who donated the funds for labor and for plants to make this a really beautiful entrance to the church with the star jasmine, the Japanese maples, just a lot of wonderful additions to our the olive trees. It looks fantastic. If you've been on the church campus in the last couple of weeks, you've also hopefully noticed in the upper parking lot, we've begun work on replacing the handrails along the parking lot stairs. Right now, they're largely being held up by what I would consider to be 40-year-old paint. The wooden structure has largely just been completely eroded. So we're really excited about these really attractive and ADA compliant handrails. So, and then once work on the upper stairs is complete, the vestry's also approved funding for these new handrails on the lower, what we sometimes refer to as the Trutner stairs as well. So this week we also, the vestry approved funds to address the curbing, drainage, and paving of the middle tier of the upper parking lot. Saying a sentence that cumbersome makes me sound like a hydrologist saying it's the East Fork or the East Branch of the North Fork of the Feather River, something like that. But we're really excited about these improvements. What we're currently driving on is a 50-year-old surface. It was re-slurried back in the late 80s. That surface is largely eroded away. So we're looking forward to not only a new and attractive parking surface, but all the adequate curbing, drainage, and lighting to make parking in the upper parking lot safe, not only during the day, but with increased lighting to make it safer for folks to park at night. So, Mike, is there anything you wanted to add to those projects?
No, I think you did a great job of highlighting the most recent projects and certainly the ones that we're concerned about when it comes to safety. You know, as many of you know, because our campus is 75 years old, anybody who owns a home that might be of that same vintage too, there always seems to be something that needs to be done. And I would just extend a huge thank you to the vestry for their regular meetings, their special meetings, to try to help me put together the necessary funds to accomplish some of these projects. I know it's not easy. I seem to be always the guy who's got the largest handout looking for funds to accomplish some of these projects. But hopefully this will encourage people to think about something that might be near and dear to their heart, maybe even make a special contribution that could support the overall health and safety of our campus. And I would look forward to talking with anybody who is passionate about something that I might not know about. So thank you all for continuing to support our work to keep our grounds in good shape.
So I have a comment about that. The parking lot stairs. So when you walk up the stairs to the main entrance of the church, on the right there, up the hill, about in the middle of the hill, is the black rat box, where they put the rat poison.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I know what it is, and it kind of bothers me to see it there. I was wondering if maybe that could be moved effectively somewhere else.
I'll forward that question to Lynn, who works with our pest control service. Yeah, I'll absolutely forward that on. Thanks for that.
Yeah,
Andy.
it's just kind of sitting there and it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll make a note of it right now.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Andy.
Sure.
Great. Any other questions? I did want to call attention of Ryan. In the chat, I just saw Fred had a question during your presentation, just asking about the main chat. Let me see if I can find it here. Are there plans to potentially resume volunteer youth trips at some point?
I would say at some point, maybe it's something I can do working with some of the other churches around to so we all kind of have like a critical mass for something like this. Right now, it's still kind of small, maybe like eight kids who would come on a regular basis for youth group. Um, so I think joining forces, that something like that could happen possibly in the spring. It's something that I would love to restart. Though. Thank you.
All right. So before we turn back to Fred, actually, to talk about stewardship, I did kind of want to talk about broadly kind of capital projects around campus and issues of deferred maintenance. And what I really want to stress is that there is always going to be a tension in our budgeting process between funding our kind of operational and programmatic costs on one hand, with kind of timely capital investments in our campus on the other. For decades, and I think with very good cause, we have seen a preference towards investing in programs and in operations. But I think over the years, that preference has generated a growing list of deferred maintenance projects. So last year in 2024, the vestry toured all 6 acres. We started at the top of Via Las Cruces and we snaked our way down all the way past the preschool playground to kind of the convergence of the 2 creeks at our kind of southwestern border. And Sean Eddy is the custodian of the great list of these capital projects. And we spent some time with the Buildings and Grounds Committee, with the wardens and myself, prioritizing them according to factors like safety, cost, and feasibility. And this year, if you remember, we were able to use both some of the funds that were generated from leasing the upper tier of the parking lot to East Bay Mud. That generated about $45,000 in kind of one-time revenue. And we used almost all of that and more to expand our repair and maintenance budget from $30,000 to $100,000 this year. Obviously, we don't anticipate that lease will go on into 2026. And so we're back at this kind of balancing act between programmatic and capital costs in our budget. The paving project is going to be a significant investment in our infrastructure at the church. The vestry has identified kind of 2 sources to complete it. The first is a bequest from George Gorel. This came to us in 2024. We're also pairing it with a special gift endowment that was started from a family who wanted to provide funds for capital projects with the hope that over time the vestry would elect to kind of pay ourselves back. And that's exactly what the vestry has decided to do in this case. So it's a wonderful investment in our campus, but as we repay ourselves for some of this work, it again just kind of highlights how do we prioritize our budget for operations and for kind of campus maintenance. And I just want to say how grateful we are to have such a generous gift that would enable a project of this scope. This is in the low 6 figures, and we really want to be grateful and explicit in our acknowledgement and thanksgiving for families like the Gorels and the Aarons who made St. Stephen's a part of their estate planning and whose generosity in death allows St. Stephen's to continue to be a vital place of worship, community, and service. And so with that, what we're hoping to do is beginning in small but significant ways to hopefully shift our culture around stewardship. And so with that, wanted to invite Fred Kaner, who's our stewardship chair, to kind of introduce some of the things we're working on in stewardship. Or Fred, would you like me to speak on your behalf? Fred, we can't quite hear you. Sorry. I believe Fred is saying something along the lines of his life was forever changed when I became rector, his undying affection and loyalty.
That's it. Can you hear me now? At
Oh,
least so I can
shucks, I was just about
text
to
it.
give you some more compliments. So thank you,
Okay.
Fred.
No, so I hopefully you can hear me now. I'm sorry for the audio problems. If it cuts out again, please let me know. Yeah, first of all, I just want to echo Matt's gratitude. The stewardship, the stewardship effort last year and now into this calendar year has been really remarkable. We had some lofty goals. We exceeded those goals. The pledge income, as Russ pointed out, pardon me, as Roy pointed out, is healthy, and our budget is equally healthy, and it's all thanks to the generosity of our parishioners. It's been a privilege to be a part of the stewardship committee, and I also want to thank the people that were on the stewardship committee with me, who were incredibly generous with their time as well as their financial support. So it's been really an extraordinary. It's been amazing to see. So for stewardship this year, again, we're doing something that's sort of seasonal, seasons of giving, and we're going to have different objectives and goals that vary based on the season. And please, Matt, feel free to chime in. But again, we're going to have 3 seasonal campaigns. The fall is going to be our more traditional pledge campaign, where we, as everybody knows, we rely on that pledge commitment to sort of forecast our budget for the following year. So that is probably the best and most important of the 3. I wouldn't say the most important, but it's that which we rely on for budgeting and forecasting purposes. And we're going to do that in a similar manner to the way we did it last year, although we hope to, now that we have a little bit more time to sort of plan, our hope is to really inject some more experiences and stories from parishioners that feel compelled to share them, so that during the period of time when we're trying to encourage people to pledge again for the following year, that we have an opportunity to do so by offering them the opportunity to share their personal story and how St. Stephen's has been so helpful to their spiritual journey. Winter is the season where we want to talk more about planned giving. I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to attend. Several months ago, we brought in somebody who was a specialist in sort of legacy planning and planned giving, who talked to parishioners about, what to give, how to give, when to give, what vehicles to consider when giving, setting up testamentary structures for giving beyond their lifetime and so forth. So we plan to do much more of that during the winter season, to really embrace planned giving as a priority. And then finally, during the spring, we really want to focus on building up our endowment and the support associated with that endowment, which is going to keep St. Stephen's sustainable for years to come. So it's an exciting structure. I think it's one that is going to work extremely well for us. And Matt, I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add, but please.
No, I think just to echo you, when we look at this year's budget, just about 10% of our budget comes from our endowment. That obviously is a huge kind of relief pressure valve in what we have to generate in our pledge campaign. And as you see, I think St. Stephen's over close to 40 years now has managed our endowments wisely. The children's ministry endowment, which started as $100,000 and has now, I think, grown about 13 times over in that time. So it's a wonderful that our investments are allowed to both grow, and we're able to take a small amount of the principal to kind of offset and augment our programmatic budget. But last year as a vestry, we adopted a goal that we'd really like to see if we can't reach $3 million in endowment. But of course, we'd be more than thrilled to exceed that number in a few years. So yeah, I think that's kind of the hope. The winter, just so you know, there's a theological linking of planned giving to the season of Lent. Lent begins with the observance of Ash Wednesday, a reminder that we are mortal. And in acknowledgement of that mortality, that we have a responsibility to continue to care for and support the church in our estate planning. So there's a little bit of a theology behind that as well. So, Fred, I think back to you with our fall campaign. Whoop.
Yeah, I just want to make sure my audio is sketchy at best.
Can hear you great.
And so just to echo, in addition to the sort of theological tie to planned giving, we do have access to sort of subject matter experts that we can sort of periodically feature in a webinar or a WebEx or something, or even a podcast, to try and help people be as informed as possible in how and what to give, when to give, and how to extend both, for an immediate need and then long term beyond just the immediate. So we have some thoughts and resources that we can bring to bear again for that. And I don't know, Brad, I think you might have attended that session. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent, really well done, informative. I'd encourage anybody to follow up and watch it.
Thank you. So yeah, again, this year's fall campaign is going to be entitled From Generation to Generation. We just want to sort of extend that legacy of giving and that legacy of embracing St. Stephen's as sort of the spiritual home for multiple generations of our families and parishioners. It's meant to capture the enthusiasm around our 75th anniversary while drawing attention at the same time to continuing our legacy as a place of prayer and service and a spiritual home, as I said, for many years to come and across multiple generations. The goal is to fund a budget that expands our investment in all programs and campus investments, and we're hopefully seeking to expand the staff to include an associate rector for pastoral care that's likely going to be at the 1-4 or the fourth or a third level. That means either quarter time or third time, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a great resource. We're actively embracing sort of pastoral care as a priority more than ever before. And I think having someone on staff to be able to support it will make it even more robust. So that's the goal of this fall's upcoming pledge campaign.
Yeah.
Anything
Thank you,
to
Fred.
add?
No, yeah, just that, I think as we continue to grow, making sure that the spiritual needs of our congregants are met. I think Ryan's portfolio is very dedicated to children's youth ministry and outreach. Ryan and I both do our best to make sure that we are providing spiritual care and counsel. But we really think that adding a quarter or a third time associate rector for pastoral care would allow us the opportunity to expand our ministries, particularly around, I think for months now, we've kind of recognized that it would be wonderful to have like a grief support group. One of my goals for 2026 is to, we have a really wonderful men's group here at St. Stephen's. I would love to offer kind of a commensurate women's group that can be, just as it is for the men, a source of fellowship and community as we kind of grow in faith and conversations with one another. So that's going to be one of the major kind of hallmarks of this year's campaign, is seeing if we can't encourage gifts that would support a budget that would allow us to expand our clergy staff, as well as continuing to invest in programs and our campus repair budget as well. So I have never been let down by the generosity of St. Stephen's, and I think Fred and I are incredibly confident that our fall campaign will fund the ministries that we can all be proud to be a part of. I also think that these ministries, all of our ministries, can be enhanced with a consistent focus on continually inviting and reminding parishioners to remember St. Stephen's in their estate planning. We have a large number of parishioners who are able to kind of prepay their annual pledge at the beginning of the year, or even in the months as we close this year end to get ready for next year. We hope that all of us in small and perhaps more in greater ways can also give direct gifts to the endowment. Every time you give $1 to the endowment, that is, and it sounds ridiculous, but 4 cents that we never have to raise again ever in our stewardship drive. And in the course of about 10 years or so, that gift will continue to generate more and more funds. If we can continually invite parishioners to remember St. Stephen's in their estate planning, support our endowments through direct gifts, I know that we can grow our ministries and continue to be a place of vibrant prayer and service for our community. And with that, I think it's also fair to share that the wardens in the vestry also think that it is probably timely to begin exploring another capital campaign. The first thing I want to say is that I will promise you that our first steps in a capital campaign will be to provide some listening sessions so that we can apply lessons learned from the previous campaign. I kind of come at this at a disadvantage. I was not your rector at the last capital campaign. And so there are lessons that I need to learn. There are stories that need to be shared. But we'll begin with kind of a reflection on how the last capital campaign went. And next steps will likely include both either in person or virtual using YouTube and online video, kind of campus tours. Because when we describe how the uppermost tier of the parking lot is, that's not a corner of the campus that many of us walk on a Sunday morning. And so making sure that we all, when we talk about potential repairs or expansions to our solar array, if we're talking about repaving the footing or the flooring of the memorial garden, we kind of want to make sure that all parishioners have a chance to understand and to see for themselves kind of what conditions we're concerned about, would like to ameliorate, or just kind of generally improve. From there, what I anticipate would kind of be parallel tracks of once we kind of have and as I said, the vestry began this work last year, but once we have a kind of an exhaustive list of what can be done, one track will be prioritizing projects. Is it the parish has a lot of energy and enthusiasm for a new dishwasher. Any capital campaign that does not include a new dishwasher will be seen as a total and abject failure. Okay, that needs to be at the top. Or is it what we really need is double pane glass in the rector's office because people who are giving their respects to their loved ones really don't want to hear him drone on when he's trying to beat writer's block on a sermon. These are things that may not be a huge priority of the parish, but so we'll prioritize those effectively. At the same time, we want to kind of understand our giving capacity. One of the things we want to avoid is a situation where we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We want to frame and scale a capital campaign that it will not only be successful on its own, but won't negatively impact our kind of annual pledge commitments as well. So this is a process that will take many months. I won't make any promises as to kind of when we will clear these hurdles, because I think what I really want to commit to is seasons of listening and conversations about what will be a successful campaign for us at St. Stephen's. I think, you know, I'd like to think that I have a pretty good grounding of history on St. Stephen's. To my knowledge, we've only had two capital campaigns in our 75 years. We had one in 1988 and 1989, strengthening our heritage. And we had a second one that I believe, you know, was that kind of 2017 to 2021 that involved a lot of improvements to our preschool facilities, kind of the Oak Room and those classrooms, improving weatherization, and obviously, probably most dramatically, the renovation to our sanctuary as well. My hope is that we can move away from multi-million-dollar generational timescales to smaller, perhaps more regular, but targeted capital campaigns. You know, we don't have to solve every problem all at once. Please don't take this the wrong way. I am not discouraging you from buying lottery tickets and remembering St. Stephen's in your prayers when you're trying to bargain with God as to why you should win the lottery this week. I will not discourage you from doing that. If you would like to solve all of our problems with a magnanimous gift, we will certainly say yes. But I think realistically, what we want to do is look at creating a master plan with targeted timescales and kind of doing this a few years and a few projects at a time. I think this will be hopefully more successful, but whatever form or scale the capital campaign may take, I want to assure you that it will be based on the feedback and the conversations and the listening that happens in these next few months as we you know, I think the 75th is a wonderful moment for us to reflect on our legacy. One of the things that I will be speaking on is when you go back, and actually just for a quick moment, let me find this slide for two reasons. One is, so let me share this, sorry. Play. My apologies, here we go. So one of the things I want to bring to your attention, so this is one of the very first church services at St. Stephen's in 1954. It's hard to make out exactly which figure she is, but our very own Nancy Dupuy is here on this day being confirmed. But there's two things I would like to point out to you. The first is, and most important to me, is this is the exact same crucifer cross that was used at the groundbreaking of St. Stephen's. It has been carried forth by every crucifer in 75 years of worship. We have carried the same cross forward and ahead of us as we try to serve faithfully as Christ's disciples in this corner of the world. The other thing I would call your attention is the alms basin has remained the same. Generations of St. Stepheners have shared their gifts of time, talent, and treasure with us using the same plate. The original cross, which was at the head of the sanctuary, was refashioned. This is actually now our clergy cross. But there has been a story of faithfulness that has happened here on our campus for 75 years. And I know that it will continue faithfully into the future because of wonderful parishioners like all of you. I really am just so grateful to take my second lap around the sun with you as rector. We're a few weeks away from my second anniversary, but it's a joy to serve here, and your faithfulness in participation, in gifts of stewardship, make this a really wonderful place to serve. And I hope you're all as proud of the discipleship that we are engendering here as I am, because you all deserve a tremendous amount of credit for the faithful disciples that you all have become, serving one another and with one another. So, and with that, are there any questions, comments, concerns, worries? Mindy, I see your hand raised, so just feel free to unmute and share your question. Still muted.
Now?
Yep, there we go.
Okay. It's a comment, and not really a question, but having been around for the last two and only big capital campaigns, they both had an end point. That first one was the kitchen, and that's where we got the extra bathroom. There had been a room there that we used for the nursery and the little ones. So that, and then the fellowship hall was moved out with the windows, that kind of thing. And then you guys all know what happened with the last one. My question / comment is, this sounds like a, we're going to have a capital campaign, and as like with what Mike deals, we've got to get this front taken care of because it's flooding out, that kind of thing. Okay, there's money in the capital campaign money. I guess my question is, will there be an end point, like a goal in mind? Or will
Yeah, I think, yes, I think, but what I don't know is how far out that will be. But
Right.
yeah, I do think as we gauge both projects and capacity, we may see that kind of the appetite that and the giving capacity of our congregation right now might be limited to $750,000. Okay, let's set that, if we think that's kind of where we'll end up, let's set that as a goal. And with that goal, here are the explicit tasks that we want to accomplish. This is what all of them are, and the tasks we're going to tackle are the ones that the church itself, through committees and through the vestry, identify as, the most pressing. So yes, it will not be ongoing, but I think they'll be smaller and more discreet. But there will be an endpoint, and then there may be another one in 5 years,
Okay,
rather
because
than in another 30. Yeah.
because if and you're getting at it right there, if you're going to have a smaller capital campaign for, granted, many smaller large projects, if that makes sense, there's going to come a point where the financing set aside for that is not going to hold, most likely because of increased costs, that kind of thing. And so I guess what I'm saying is there has to be a few options at the end game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that comment. Any other comments, questions, concerns? No? I feel like an auctioneer going once. Perfect. Well, we're right about at kind of what we thought we'd be, which is at the end of an hour-long meeting. So I really want to say thank you to all of our presenters tonight and to all of you for sharing and being a part of this. What we'll do tomorrow is we'll post the recording to YouTube, and it'll be shared out via email. So for those people who missed it, or if there's a part of the presentation you'd like to watch again, largely and presumably as a sleep aid, we'll make that available to everybody tomorrow over email. But I'll stay on for a few minutes in case there's any other questions. But thank you all for your time and attention, and we look forward to seeing you, if not this Sunday, sometime soon. But thanks so much.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
to everybody.
Thanks, Matt.
Good night, sleep well.
Yes. And it's good seeing everyone
Yes,
Yeah.
in the
indeed.
middle of the week.
Yes.
Well done, all. Thank you.
Yeah,
Excellent.
thank you, Lane.
All right.
Uh,
Any last questions?
I just wonder if Ryan finished his project.
Oh, no, nowhere near. I might have
The
like
meeting wasn't
another
long
like
enough, I guess. Okay.
3 or 4 I've been working on this for 3 months. I'm almost like fed up with it at this point.
Sounds good. All right, all. Well,
Thank you, Matt.
happy mid-year update to all, and to all a good night.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Brad.
Yep.
Oh, the host.